Dr. Tom Davis was a head coach in the NCAA for 36 seasons for Drake, Boston College, Stanford, Lafayette, and Iowa. The University of Iowa men's basketball team was fortunate enough to have him as their head coach for 13 seasons from 1986 to 1999. Davis positively influenced many players and members of his coaching staff throughout his time. His legacy lives through these people still to this day. Despite his departure from Iowa, his devotion to the Hawks is still present. Coach Davis is arguably the best coach in Iowa history. Davis was known for pressing the entire game, and with this he had great success. During his time at Iowa, he amounted an amazing 269 wins and only 140 losses, making him the all-time winningest men's basketball coach at the University of Iowa. Out of his 13 seasons at Iowa, he led the Hawks to the NCAA tournament 9 times, including a trip to the Elite Eight during the 1986-1987 season. This was his first season with the Hawks, and he showed why he was perfect for the job. He led the Hawks to a 30-5 record and finished the season ranked as the 6th best team in the country. As the 2 seed in their bracket, they lost to the 1 seed, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, in the Elite Eight. At one point during the season, Iowa found themselves ranked as the number 1 team in the country. They accomplished this by defeating Illinois, Purdue, and Indiana, who were ranked 8th, 6th, and 3rd respectively. Throughout this season, Davis remained humble and focused on the task at hand. Due to their success, there was a lot of attention brought to the team. Davis did a great job at taking the pressure away from the players. He was quoted in the Daily Iowan saying, "We let them know we're facing the best teams this country had to offer. Losing to any of them will be no disgrace." His calming demeanor allowed his team to focus on basketball instead of any outside distractions. His efforts and great success were recognized nationally as he was named the AP College Basketball Coach of the Year, which is given to the best head coach in the NCAA. The accomplishments the team achieved over the season was just a precursor to the success Davis's teams would have. However, as Davis frequently pointed out, it was the players that allowed him to be the accomplished coach that he was. Coach Davis produced plenty of star players during his time at Iowa. Most notably was B.J. Armstrong, who after his career at Iowa went on to become an NBA All-Star and win 3 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls. Armstrong played at Iowa from 1985 to 1989 and now has his number 10 retired at the University of Iowa. B.J. Armstrong was the starting point guard during his time at Iowa, where he was the second leading scorer on the team that made it to the Elite Eight. The leading scorer of this team was Roy Marble, who went on to get drafted in the first round of the NBA draft by the Atlanta Hawks. His son, Devin Marble, played at Iowa from 2010 to 2014. Davis also coached Ryan Bowen, who holds the record for steals at the University of Iowa. He went on to play 12 seasons in the NBA and has followed in Davis's coaching footsteps by being the assistant coach for the Denver Nuggets. Davis was also the coach at the time of the tragic death of starting forward Chris Street. Street got in a car accident that killed him after a team dinner the night before a game. Coach Davis replied to this incident by saying, "Chris represented all that is good about the Midwest and the state of Iowa. He was open, caring, honest, loving, and lived life to the fullest every day. Chris Street's number 40 is retired at Iowa, and an award in his name is given to a basketball player every year." With Davis's mentorship, he impacted these athletes tremendously, helping them to become the great players that they were, and leaving a little bit of his legacy behind with them. On top of the impact he had on these players, he also helped the coaches on his staff. His son, Keno Davis, was an assistant coach for him. Keno Davis has gone to be the head coach at Drake, Providence, and now Central Michigan. Keno Davis also went on to win the AP College Basketball Coach of the Year in 2008. The most notable members of Tom Davis's coaching tree are Bruce Pearl and Gary Williams. Pearl coached at Milwaukee, Tennessee, and now Auburn. He has mounted a 261 and 140 career record with these schools. Gary Williams coached at American, Boston College, Ohio State, and most notably Maryland, where he was for 22 years. He amassed an impressive 668 and 380 record over his career and was inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Coach Davis taught these coaches while they were on his staff and allowed for them to have the successful careers in coaching that they have had. These are all people who have carried on the legacy of Tom Davis beyond his coaching years. Despite the success of Coach Davis at Iowa, they chose not to extend his contract after the 1999 season. This was to many people's disbelief, and Davis was quoted saying, "I couldn't believe it, to tell you the truth." With the success at Iowa, he had good reason to be shocked. Davis made it to the NCAA tournament 9 out of his 13 seasons, and since his departure, Iowa has only made the tournament 6 times in 16 years. Despite all of this, Davis has no bad feelings towards Iowa. He had a good relationship with his succeeding coach, Steve Alford, who is the current coach for UCLA. Davis lives in Iowa City to this day and is an avid fan of Hawkeye sports. He always has respect and talks highly of Iowa athletics, including the coaches who have attempted to live up to his legacy as the head basketball coach of the University of Iowa. As a nod to his success at the school, Davis was inducted into the University of Iowa Athletics Hall of Fame in 2008. Dr. Tom Davis is the perfect example of what it means to be a Hawkeye for life.